Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's training where I will be sharing with you how to keep your CV off the trash can or the trash bin. And I'm going to highlight 10 red flags that whenever an employer, a recruiter is able to see in your CV, will quickly throw it into the dust bin. So I really don't want you to be a victim of the same. So let me come closer here and ask you, let me know in the chat if you can see me, you can hear me, you can see the presentation right here. Let me know in the chat, give me a thumbs up, tell me we are okay. If you're watching the replay, probably you'll just need to skip the next 1 minute or so because I just want to do some quick mic check. If you can see me, you can see the presentation, just say hello in the chat or okay, and I can ask, are we ready? So if you're ready, please feel free to be able to bring that in. Okay, just checking. If you can see me, you can hear me. Are you ready to go? I think yes. Are you ready to go? I'll be happy to take you through. And I just want to see you engaging and also dropping some of those things in the comment section. So checking. Okay, if you can see me, you can hear me, I'll be happy to know. But today, as I said, that presentation is all about the quickest way to know that you're there. Just drop in a comment. Tell me you can hear me, you can see me. Sometimes there's usually a delay in terms of the response, but I'll be happy to know that you're there because I would want to start if I'm not sure if you can hear me or see me. But as I said, today is going to be a great learning session. And if you have been in that space where you're looking for a job, you're not so sure where do you need to start, as I said, I'll highlight some of the 10 red flags. And I'll not just say or highlight these red flags, but also I will try to let you know what are the solution. What is the solution to this problem? Yeah, that is going to be very important. Thank you very much, Okumu Julius, for your feedback. I also know if you're following me on LinkedIn, I might not be able to get your comments straight from the application or the software that I'm using. So it will be easy if you can jump straight to YouTube just right now, search Daniel Mutuku. You'll see I'm live. Join me there so that when you comment, I can be able to see. I'd forgotten to mention that. So I'll try maybe to, I don't want to be switching tabs so that I can see what is happening on LinkedIn. So if you can just go to YouTube, search Daniel Butuku, and you will be able to see. Thank you for your feedback. So 1 minute, and we then get on with today's training. Yeah. So what I want to share with you, as I said, we're going to look at the 10 red flags, how to keep your CV out of the trash bin. What I'm going to cover, number one, I'll share with you what are the 10 red flags in your CV that you need to avoid. Number two, I'll talk about the solutions to this problem. How do you get out of that problem where you are searching for a job and you don't know how do you get out of that kind of a situation. And then towards the end, I will open it up for Q&A. So if you have any question, even in the meantime, you can feel free to be able to drop that in the chat so that I can be able to answer as we proceed, right? Okay, good. I think I can see some people are already here on LinkedIn. Robert, you're following me live on LinkedIn. Okay, good stuff. I don't want to get derailed. Uh, then I'll need to give me 1 minute. I think this one I need to mute it. So as I start, I would want to say hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard. And this is an encouragement to us that when we are looking for a job, we might not be very talented in terms of uh, having the right background or the right people to connect us, or you might not even have even an idea how do you get a job in your space. But if you work hard, you will be able to beat even those who are privileged, those who think that they will just get things straight away. So this is to encourage you not to give up. Follow, learn, get to know what is working, then you can double down on that, and you will be able to see the results coming out of your hard work. If you're seeing me for the very first time, let me just do a quick introduction. My name is Daniel Mutuku. I'm the founder of Career Point Solutions, and over the last 12, 13 years, I've been privileged and blessed to be a recruiter and also work as a career advisor and a career coach. On top of that, I'm a certified digital marketer by Google, proud member of the League of Young Professionals, among other groups. I'm also an author of several books: Ultimate Cover Letter Guide, 101 Sample Cover Letters for All Professions. If you want it, let me know. I can drop you a link. You can download it for free. How to Quit Your Banking and Transition into NGOs and the UN are still a book that I'm giving out for free. Even Career Change, you can be able to take it out there. At Career Point Solutions, our mission is to make people employable and to increase their earning potential. And everything that we do is normally focused on that. So I'm happy that we are able to do even this live session here, because at the end of this session, I can assure you, you will leave here being more employable. You will leave here being having increased your earning potential. So it's a good thing that you're here, and I can promise you this will happen. So let's start by understanding, is a CV important in getting a job? Because I know there's that argument, oh, the CV doesn't make any difference. You need to know people, it is who you know, and all that. But I can tell you, for a big chunk of us, we don't know those people. So the only thing we have is a CV. And I actually did ask a question on LinkedIn. I had a poll and I asked, is a CV important in getting a job? And you can see 89% of people said yes. And this is a reflection of the true thing. It's only that probably the 11% who are more noisy saying it is not important is who you know, because they have people they know. But I can tell you, for so many of the clients that I've served, they didn't know anyone, and what was able to help them get the job was a CV. I've been employed 3 times, and the thing that got me those 3 jobs, it is that CV that I used to apply for the job. Why is it important? This is because it is the first contact between you and your potential employer. And the employer will use that to judge you. You will be judged based on your CV. So remember, you don't get a second chance to have your first impression. So you need to have a very good first impression, way from the, as in from the word go, using your CV. Your CV, it is the first window through which a potential employer is able to see you. They are able to make some judgment and some decision based on what they see on the CV. If it is well organized, they might see you as an organized person. If there are some mistakes which just have to do with maybe spelling and font, as we'll talk about, you might look at someone who is disorganized and someone who is not really focused on details, and that will come out very strongly just from the CV. And the other thing is, it is your first opportunity to stand out and make a lasting first impression. You don't get a second chance to have a first impression. But with your CV, you have an opportunity to really stand out from the rest, not waiting or not just being similar to any other person who is having similar CV. So you can see the real value that comes in from having a good CV. And the stakes are very high. From multiple studies, it has been found out that recruiters will spend on average about 6 to 8 seconds to review a CV and to decide if they are going to continue reading it and call you for an interview, or they will just throw it in the bin. Yeah, 6 to 8 seconds. The question is, when someone just take a look at your CV, can they be able to see the value that you're bringing in? That's the question. So let's dive deep into the red flags And before I even go, are you ready? If you're ready, drop it in the chat and say, yes, I'm ready. I am glad to see that we have Monica Chelagat right there saying great insight. You're in for a big treat. I had seen earlier Okubu Julia saying, yes, you can hear me loud and clear. I really appreciate that. Just to check what is happening here on LinkedIn, I can see Robert saying hello. And yes, you're ready. Robert Tando or Twori, great to see you right there. So if you're there, someone on Facebook, I can see Glory. You're saying yes, you're ready. Are you ready to jump into the red flags? I'm happy to see that. Yeah. So get to know that we are streaming on all platforms, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube. But the best place you can be able to get and even watch this replay thereafter would be on YouTube. And I'll be happy if I see you there. So let's get to the red flag. Red flag number 1: unusual job titles or companies. Sometimes we are tempted to show how big we are, and we end up with some very serious job titles that we put on our CVs. The first one, which is a big red flag, is when you call yourself a CEO or a founder. Unless you're going for a really executive job, if you are running your own business and you call yourself a founder or a CEO on your CV, there's usually the idea that this person, probably the business is not working out very well for them. So what they're doing, they're just looking for an opportunity to get a job, and then later on they will jump out and go back to their maybe hustle of their business. So avoid having that. You might be a CTO, and there you are writing the job title to be a chief geek. Yeah, you are the chief technology officer. You might be the marketing researchers, and you're there calling yourself the digital prophet, or you're a developer, you are a hacker or a guru. Yeah, these are good names that you can use. Exciting names for fun, but probably in the CV they might be portraying a different idea. Uncommon job titles or companies with a questionable reputation may prompt employers to investigate further to ensure your experience is legitimate. And we don't want our employer to start having doubt about us and our experience just from the word go. Red flag number 2: employment gaps or gaps in your employment. I want to say this: people do get gaps due to many reasons. You can have employment gaps just because you went for further studies. You might have been ill. You might have decided to take care of someone who was ill, family issues, personal issues, redundancy, or even to the extent to a point where you were fired. There is nothing wrong with having gaps in your CV because it can happen. But once it happens, then the thing is, how do you take care of the red flags or these gaps? How to explain your gap is very important. And even before you think about the gaps, when you're going for an interview, you should be prepared to answer questions about your gap. And the guideline is that you need to be very honest, be brief in your resume, because, and I'll demonstrate to you how you can be able to explain that in your CV. Discuss valuable skills that you're able to gain during that gap. Don't let it look as if it was a blank moment, so nothing happened, everything stopped in your professional life. And also consider a functional CV that is able to explain the value that you'll be able to bring in. So this is an example of a CV whereby you can see between this year to this year, someone was an administrative assistant in this company and this one duties. Then you can have it employment gap. What are the years? Time spent relocating to a new state or city, and then go to the next experience. So you don't just leave that blank and someone will be looking at the dates and they're not adding up. You can easily just include something like that in your CV. And as you can see, it's very short and precise. What are the do's and don'ts? Number 1, do assume that the employer will find out about the gap through a basic employment check. Yeah, it is important for you to know that they will get there. They will get to know. The next thing, do show the gap in your resume, but explain it briefly. In 2 lines or less, simply state what you are doing, see the employment gap example that I've just showed you. Yeah. So during that section, during that time, between this year and this year, employment gap, and the reason is spent time relocating. What are the things that you're not supposed to do? Do not cover gaps in your resume with just the date. Yeah, with the date. Just writing years in your work experience without months comes off as well, trying to hide some stuff. So sometimes even it's 2 to 3 months, or sometimes if certain years, there are people who will play around with the months to cover it up. But if it is very prominent, just indicate that there is that gap. Do not make up any heroic reason for the gap in your CV, like you are in a rescue, you are rescuing beach, uh, you are rescuing bleached whales, or your employer can smell some dishonesty a mile away. Don't really exaggerate. Just be very clear and short, straight to the point. So just to re-emphasize, this is how you're supposed to go about it. Number one, explain the gap in your CV. Secondly, reassure the manager why you won't be doing it again if you have decided to get back the work, or if the things were within your control, then why you will not be able to do that again, on how to have that gap. Then share the value that you picked up along the way. Don't let it look as if you just lost those years. What is the skill? What is the value that you're able to pick up? And then keep the explanation short. We know sometimes when we try to explain something, and the longer you do the explanation, the more questions you raise. Red flag number three, inconsistent dates. And that is related to also the gaps area. When you have some employment gaps, people will try to play around the dates. If the dates are inconsistent, then it is a big red flag. Discrepancies in employment dates or education timelines may raise some doubt about your honesty and attention to details. Ensure that all information aligns cohesively. Sometimes you will find that this inconsistency of dates, it's not because you were not maybe you had that gap, or you are in this school at the other school at the same time. It's just sometimes lack of the attention to details. So when you interchange the dates, it was just a simple mistake. Instead of saying 2003, you said 2023. Yeah. And then when you look at the dates, they don't look as if it is they're adding up. So that is a big red flag that you need to avoid. Red flag number four, inconsistent formatting. Now, this ends up in terms of how do you have a consistent formatting all along your document, whereby you're using the same type of font, not changing fonts in between. You're using, even if it is different font size, but you can see for a title, it's a different font size, and then the rest of it is the same font, not having font jumping up and down. You can also see, like in this case, at some point you're talking about work experience. This is your title, this is where the date is, and when you come to the next position, this is where your title, the date, again not aligned as the first one. Some areas are bold, some areas are not, some are underlined, some are. So you can find that this kind of formatting, it's also not easy to read, and it will discourage the person from reading. Inconsistent font styles, formatting errors, or poorly organized CV may suggest that you lack attention to details, or you are not professional. Yeah, lack of professionalism. So try avoid that at all cost. Have a second eye looking through your CV just to confirm that this person is able to do what they are saying, or the thing is well presented. A well presented document is a reflection of your communication skills. Yeah, it beats logic when you have like one of your skills in your CV saying that you are a good communicator, and yet you are not able to communicate well using your CV, because that is the first tool that you are using to communicate. So really focus and think about that. Red flag number five, overstating your achievement. As much as it is important for you to have achievement in your CV, Do not overstate. Do not really exaggerate. And I like this photo when I came across it. You can see someone that is really unemployed. That is the reality. But you look at their LinkedIn profile and you can see, oh, he's a blockchain enthusiast, cryptocurrency, TED Talk type speaker, blah, blah, blah. Actually, not even TED Talk speaker. It's TED Talk 2 times attendee. Yeah, co-advisor, philanthropy, and all that. Avoid all that. Candidates who exaggerate their accomplishment or responsibility may lack credibility, and employers should verify through references or during the interviewing process. So ask yourself, if the employer decides to call one of your referees or even someone who was working in that organization where you have all these exaggerated accomplishment, will they confirm that or affirm that? So it is important not to really do that. CV, look at this CV statement, that when this person is talking about their achievement, so the original statement is like revolutionized company sales strategy leading to a 300% increase in revenue within 3 months. So this is a really bold achievement or statement that you're putting out there. And what else you forget is that you did not do it all by yourself. So an accurate version of the same statement can be collaborated with sales team to implement a new strategy, contributed to 300% increase in revenue across various initiatives within 3 months. So that it does not look as if you are the only one. You see this one, this statement here, it looks like you are the person who did it all by yourself. It is a one-man team. And again, 300% increase in revenue is quite a lot, a big one within 3 months. And here we can talk about it was across different initiative. It was not that one only thing you did. So it's important for you to put things in the right perspective. Are we together so far? I think so far we have covered 5 of them. Yeah. So far so good. Are we glad that you came? Let me see. I can see also um let me check. Are we good so far? Are you happy? Are you glad that can you say that you're getting value? If you can give me some thumbs up, say we are good so far, I'll be happy just to check on you. I try as much as possible not just to have some information dump kind of session where I'm the one talking, but I want to engage you. I want to engage, because the more we engage, the more we have this conversation, the more you participate in it, actually it sticks and you're able to take some step forward. So if so far so good, thank you very much. I can see, Emma, you're saying you're getting value out of it. I'm happy to hear that. So I'm going to go through the next half very quickly. I'll just list down some of these red flags, and then if you have any question, also feel free to drop that in the chat as we proceed. So the other red flag is frequent job changes. These tend to show up as if you are a job hopper. And I know sometimes you have to move around, but once you get a job, it is good to stay a little bit longer for you to understand how the workplace is, and also to display some sense of loyalty. Yeah. If you are a job hopper, an employer might be afraid to pick you because they know also probably you might not stay here long enough. Lack of specifics. Yeah, it's important not to keep your CV very generic or very general. Try to be specific, especially when you're talking about your achievement. What exactly did you do? What was the impact, and what did that have in the whole company? Unexplained career shifts, it might be a red flag, and it does not mean that if you have it, it's a bad thing. It's a red flag if I see someone who has been in accounting all through, but then they shift at 360 degrees. Now they are pursuing law or something like that. Yeah, that can be a red flag. Missing skills or qualifications, especially when you talk, you have you're doing a certain role, or you are in a specific space. There's certain skills that you need to have. There are certain qualifications that you need to have. You can't get to a certain level, maybe in accounting or in engineering or in law, without certain qualifications. So it's important for you to have all that shown. And overemphasizing on unrelated skills. Now, you might be having a lot of skills, but when you are trying to really focus your CV or write your CV, it should have relevant skill for the job that you're applying. I wouldn't really expect to see someone who is applying for a job in, for example, IT, and they're really talking about how good they are in terms of customer care or uh, something totally unrelated to IT, yeah, or law or interpretation of the law. And like right now, most people here are now expert when it comes to bills and parliament bills and stuff. Yeah, so try to be focused on what you're good at and it's related to your skills. Now, what happens if you have all these problems with your CV? I want to say here at Career Point Solutions, we do offer services that help you communicate your value. And these are the four main things that you need to be able to secure a job. Number one, a professional CV, being a document that you're using to market yourself, that is easily able to articulate the value that you're bringing in and will help you get rid of these red flags. Number two, a cover letter, being that customized application letter that you use when you're applying for a job, that is able to clearly communicate to the employer that you are the right candidate for the job. And if they want more information, then they can dive into your CV to show to see you as an all-rounded person. Then your LinkedIn. I know some of you are following through LinkedIn, but if you're on LinkedIn, just say hello. I'll be happy to know that you are following through. And LinkedIn, it's playing a very big part in our. It's your online presence. It's your online CV. It is that CV that is working for you even when you are asleep. Because I know you might have gotten some notification telling you a certain number of people have been viewing your profile. What are they seeing? Are they seeing the value? Are they able now to maybe even make a judgment of who you are? Can they employ you? Do you know? I want to give you this as a challenge. Go and Google yourself. Just go to Google and type your name and Google yourself. I can tell you, chances are the first result that you'll have will be your LinkedIn profile. And then maybe your Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook comes in later. So, what are people seeing? So, it's important for you to have professional profile on LinkedIn. The other thing I will also want to mention is when it comes to interviews, you might have done a very good job in your application, but then you need to think about your interview. When you're called for an interview, how do you present yourself? How do you show that you are the right candidate? How do you show that whatever they saw on paper, like on your CV and stuff, you are the same person in real life? So we do interview coaching. We help you how to answer questions. We help you how to be more confident. We help you to be able to reduce the nervousness and actually showcase your best self during that interview. So if that would be something that you would be interested in, I would say you can take one of our professional CV writing service. But even instead of going for the professional CV writing service, you can just drop as your CV for a free review. So let me put the link right here. So if you go to careerpoint.co.ke /CV review, you get an opportunity to submit your CV for a free review. Then once we go through it, we'll give you feedback, tell you change this, add this, remove this. And if you want us to write a professional CV for you, then we can give you some of these packages, whereby a basic package, we get the CV and the cover letter, will range between 1,000 to 3,000. We'll tell you the exact price. Or you can go for the advanced package, whereby you will get all the services. That is the professional CV, cover letter, LinkedIn profile guide, and interview coaching. And again, the pricing here ranging between 3,000 to 6,000, depending on how much work we need to do on the CV. So it can range. I did ask this question on LinkedIn. I asked, are you confident on your CV ability to sell you? Is your CV doing you justice? And you can see a bigger majority of people felt like, yeah, the CV is doing a good job, 65%. But then the next question shows, you can see here, there's someone who decided to take a chance with us for us to do the CV. So this was the communication. I asked them, Have you made the payment? They said, yeah, I've already made the payment. We sent you the CV via email. Have you received it? That is after we have done the CV. Then they said, yes, I have received it. And look at this. They send me an email saying, I sent the CV and the cover letter after your review that you did I'm today receiving this. And this was actually her receiving an invitation to an interview just after we have written her CV. So that is the power of having a professional CV. You can look at another comment here that came in from one of my clients saying, hello Daniel, thank you so much. I received my final copy of the CV today. I am really grateful for the good work you people are doing. And indeed, my initial CV was for the dustbin. I can't imagine how I gave up that came abstract. How, oh, I can't imagine how it came abstracted so well and appealing to look at. I'm grateful. So that is the power when you get a professional CV from us. As in, he admitted that whatever he was having was to be sent straight to the bin. Another gentleman here saying, Stanley, saying, you have helped me secure a job in 2 weeks. I have no better words to say. Thank you so much. I knew you about at the right time. I don't regret what I spent on the CV review. Kudos. So I have a special offer for you. If you would want to go for the advanced package and you're here with me live, irrespective of how much it costs, I want you to send me your CV and you can pay for only 9,900, 2,999 and get the advanced package. So you are able to get the professional CV, sample cover letter, LinkedIn profile guide, and online interview coaching. So if you're following me here live, you can go ahead and make payment. And this is the special offer for people who are here with me because you will not see any of our prices being 2,999. But if you want to take advantage of this offer, you are here and you have seen some of the comments I've already shared, some of the red flags. Probably they are showing up on your CV. I want you to decide that this is the day that you're going to make a difference in your job search. Go ahead, make payment. And this is only when we are here live. If you're watching the replay, probably this will not apply. But if you're here with me live, go make payment. The till number is 715732. So go Lipa na M-Pesa, buy goods and services, till number 715732. Make that payment of 2,999 and I will automatically upgrade you to the professional CV advanced package where you get the professional CV, sample cover letter, LinkedIn profile guide, and interview coaching. Are we together? If you are good, let me know we are good. Thank you, Glory. You're saying very informative session. I would want to know from you, what would you say is the greatest takeaway you have taken from this session so far? As in looking at the maybe red flags. Have you identified a red flag that might be on your CV? Emma, thank you also for the thumbs up. You're saying you're learning great insights. I can see feedback from Monica. So good. I think I can pause it there. And again, if you want to go to the next level, we have our career coaching session, which is called the Career Jumpstart Challenge. But I want us to start with the CV. Yeah, I want us to start with the CV. There are two types of people in this world, and even right here in this presentation. There are those people who get an opportunity to change their lives, and they see that this is what is needed for them to do. They get trained, they get information, just as I have shared with you, and they say, I'll take action. And there are those who get information, they say, this is good, and they do nothing about it. And you know what happens to them? Nothing happens. That person who takes action start taking control of their own life, and they have that agency to direct themselves to the right direction. And out of these two types of people, my question to you is, which type are you? Are you that person who gets the information and say it's good, but do nothing about you actually do nothing about it? Or are you that person who takes action and say, I'll take advantage of this? So I'll stop there. I'll leave the question for you to decide which one you are. And I'll go back to the presentation to see if there are any questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop that in the chat. And if there are no questions, yeah, that is the offer that I'm giving you. Get the professional CV, sample cover letters, LinkedIn profile guide, interview coaching, and the LinkedIn, at only 2,999. Once you make the payment, you can just drop and say in the chat, payment done, and I'll be able to take it up for you. So otherwise, I'm really happy. I'm really grateful that you found time. You came in this presentation. You have learned. So I want to pause. If you have any question, drop that in the chat. Yeah. If you have any question, drop it in the chat. And also, as I finish, I like asking, what would you say is the one thing that you have learned from today's session? What is the one thing that maybe it was a red flag in your CV? I've been able to point it out, and you're like, oh, I'm glad that I came. I'll also be happy to hear that. And I can play this. I can see a question that has come in here. Let me just pick it there. So let me know in the chat, what is your key takeaway? Margaret saying, hello, have just joined now, but I want to know more about the CV. Okay, I think we have talked a lot about the CV. Don't really worry. What you can do, drop me your CV. This is where you send your CV for a free review. We'll take a look at it and then we'll give you feedback. So write this down somewhere. careerpoint.co.ke/CV review. So what you do with that, you go there, submit your CV for a free review. We'll take a look at it, and then I can be able to give you feedback on what needs to be done to make it professional. But if you want to take this opportunity, you can just go ahead, make payment through Lipa na M-Pesa, buy goods and services. The till number is 715732, and get all these services and their advanced package right here for you. So let me just check here. Yeah, careerpoint.co.ke/CV review as one word. Can we check one if there's a question? I think I can see a question here. I have just joined, failed to download the ultimate cover letter guide. Oh, so I remember we talked to you. You are unable to download the ultimate cover letter guide. Okay, just get back to me on WhatsApp. I'll share with you the link where you don't need to go straight and download it. I'll just attach it onto a WhatsApp and send it to you. Is that okay? If that's so, thank you. Any other person, any other question? I think that is it. That is at the time that I had. And unless there's any question, Margaret, feel free to get in touch with me. By the way, I can also share with you my email address. Drop me your CV also on email. It's easy, daniel@careerpoint.co.ke. Even the gentleman who was looking for the ultimate cover letter guide, drop me an email, and I can even send it the cover letter guide on email. Is that okay? Otherwise, thank you very much. I really appreciate you taking your time joining me here and engaging with me. And I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. I'm out.